This podcast is brought to you by The Trading Floor. The Trading Floor is on a mission to build an amazing community. A community of like-minded individuals who are looking to take their trading to the next level. Whether you are just getting started, been at it for a bit, or are well into your trading career, The Trading Floor has you covered. We provide you with all styles of trading, helping mold you into the trader you want to become and reach your goals. If you are looking for a wonderful place to learn, grow, and expand your horizons, become part of the Trading Floor and discover the next chapter in your trading journey. Take the next step by visiting our website with the link down in the description. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Jay.
I'm Christy.
And this is the Trading Floor Podcast. Actually, episode 2. We were just extremely excited to bring you 2 episodes in 1 week. Usually it's going to be every Monday, but you know what? They deserve a Friday release, Christy. They deserve one.
Yeah, it just kind of fits in with our content, to be honest. But yes, we wanted to give you guys a little more podcast content, get a little more excited for it. So you guys are getting 2 episodes this week, and this episode's going to be about smart money concepts, which we have a guest here. So Jay, I'll talk to you guys about that a little bit.
Alex, welcome to the podcast, brother. We're really happy to have you.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm really happy to be part of this conversation. I'm honored. I'm really honored.
Wow. Welcome to the show. Some of you guys don't know this, but this is our second attempt at an intro.
Yeah, it's true.
This is just like trading. This is like trading. So, we were 15, 20 minutes in. We were cruising. We were lighting up the mics. I almost had to bring the fire alarm in, like literally fire extinguisher. This bad boy. It was going in. I was going in.
So
it was lit.
We were fighting, guys. We were fighting.
We were going back and forth. It was crazy. Y'all missed it. I wish y'all.
Yeah.
You had to be there, type of moment. But no.
We apologize. But yeah. So Alex is actually having to go through this awkward introduction twice now. But thank you again for a second time joining the episode. So since all of you missed that first wonderful intro we did, this is Alex. Alex is a member in our community who trades smart money concepts. He does an amazing job with it. He takes the concept of it and applies other ways of like working with smart money concepts. So we really thought that it would be awesome to have him come on and be like a true representation of a trader in our community who has been using smart money concepts and applying it and being profitable, and like the ways that he's done it. He's used indicator-based things. He's used a lot of like zones and marking up, but still keeping to the basic concepts of smart money concept, which is awesome. And we wanted to bring him on here to talk a little bit more about it and to give you guys like his point of view of how he's been using it. Jay and I have a little bit of a different point of view on it. So we wanted to bring somebody who trades it and like sticks by that belief of smart money concept.
Have a nice passionate debate going back and forth. Why we don't trade it, why he does trade it, But
no, I think we all believe in it to an extent. But yeah, so we are going to have Alex talk a little bit with you guys about this. But before he gets fine, Jay.
Yeah, no, well, I'm
all
cutting
out
you
of
off.
sorts.
I'm cutting you off right here and there.
Right.
Before, the anticipation's killing you all, no, but we'll get to Alex soon. But I want to, in case of people who don't really know smart money concept all that well, I'm going to give my sarcastic rundown of smart money concept, which Alex is really going to like. And that's why we're going to have comments turned off. So none of you SMC cultists come at me, because I don't want that happening to me. No, but
we are ready for you. We are ready for you.
With the pitchforks. They're going to have the pitchforks out for me. But
Alex is working on it already. He's like, I got a week.
Yeah.
I got a week to come up.
I'm ready.
The funny, like a general description of like how I like to describe smart money concept is that it's basically price action, but with different names to make them sound fancy. And so just in general, I will say
that was bad, man. That was bad.
But what I will say, though, Alex will agree with me on this, is the fact that the theory of smart money concept is that it's all about the market makers and how they approach the markets. The big boys, institutional bankers, whatever you want to call them, and their goal is to just jump on the whale, on literally the money whale, and ride them down to the promised land. And so that is the basic premise of smart money concept that way. The origin, Alex kind of went over this. Origin wasn't necessarily Inner Circle Trader ICT, but he was kind of the first person to really broadcast it out to the public. That way people can kind of give it. It was very on the down low. It wasn't as mainstream until ICT came about with some of the free content they did on YouTube. And so with that, it includes like core concepts. Like I said, they have different terminology. Supply and demand is, I will say, is a more defined version of support, your normal support resistance, where you can have other things like liquidity grabs and mitigation blocks. But personally, the things that I do like about smart money concept, and I do implement this in my technical analysis, is things like order blocks, which are more refined versions of supply and demand. Basically, if you go on a chart, make sure you go on a higher time frame to make it more sound, and look where the uptrend cancels and starts a downtrend, and that area is probably a big like fill-in candle that literally changes directions, or vice versa in a downtrend where the uptrend starts. That could be a really good order block placement for entries or take profits, in the same sense as fair value gaps. I actually like fair value gaps really a lot. And the best way I could explain it, it'd be easier to visually see this on a chart, but think of a really big bodied candle.
I'm good at my fancy editing skills and you guys are watching this, I will attempt to insert a picture somewhere in this video.
Somewhere down here, but
if you guys are listening though, just go Google it. Just ask Google.
Yeah,
no worries.
Fair market value, fair value gap. They kind of have different names. Candle, it goes by candle imbalance as well.
Yeah, I prefer imbalance because
candle imbalance. It makes sense. It's imbalance.
It is, it's balance. It's a gap in the orders that are not executed in the market that need to be re-executed.
Yeah. So Christy's gonna pop a picture if she can with her magic wizardry skills. And basically you have the easiest way to target this is if you see some like really, really peculiar big body candles, you look on the candle to the left and you look on the candle to the right of that. If the wicks haven't filled that body, you have a candle imbalance. And a lot of times, not all of the candle imbalance will get filled. 50% of the candle imbalance getting filled is technically a fully filled candle imbalance. And then you have other things like I said, mitigation blocks, but you also have breaker blocks, and that's just another way of saying resistance and support right there. But I'm gonna let the man speak for himself on his favorite concept, the smart money concept. So Alex, floor is yours.
Well, before we talk about it, I'm sorry. Can we hear a little bit about your background story?
True,
so people get an idea about where you came from and like how did you get into smart money concept and what made you find it? Like what was your reasoning for being drawn to smart money concept? Because nobody wakes up
who is like,
smart money
Alex?
concept. Like, who are you? Tell us about you.
Well, first of all, my journey began as everyone else. I was talking with my best friend. Oh, mate, we must buy crypto. They are going to the moon. I talked to my friend. Yeah, he bought a car from crypto. Oh yeah, mate, let's go in, let's buy. And suddenly the market went against us.
So now you bought a toy car. That's not a
exactly.
that's about what we can afford with our crypto.
It's all about perspective.
Listen, I am a crypto holder myself, but boy, does my wallet look sad right now. So it is volatile, and I think a lot of people are drawn into. They find trading through crypto because people are hyping it, but crypto is extremely hard to get into and trade profitably.
Yeah. No.
So that is how you. Is that how you found trading Forex or
because when I found that I did a mistake buying at the highest point of the market, I started searching and I wanted to find what did I did wrong. So I started searching in the internet, in YouTube, and ran upon Ari. Ari at that point was my savior. I started learning things. he introduced me to the old community. I joined. I saw Christy. I saw Jay that were teaching us to the strategies. I started. I thought that if the stars and the moons align together, I will make money.
Shout out
Unfortunately, yeah, astrology, yeah, but unfortunately, I didn't make money again.
The moon was in the wrong phase.
The stars didn't.
Yeah.
No, it was just you and the stars had some beef or something. You just gotta work it out. It'll work out.
They were waiting for smart money. They were leading him to smart money concepts. That's what it was.
It was the gateway.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Because I didn't. I searched again because I discovered that something was missing, and SMC came in front of me. I joined a big community, very expensive, although I must tell this. Yes,
some of them, they are too expensive.
Really
let's be for real, too expensive.
Yeah. But it was the time that I discovered that I didn't know anything. I was so stoned because I didn't know anything. I was learning every day simple things that I was seeing every day that you talked in your videos and everything, and I discovered I didn't know anything. So I started building my knowledge, my experience. It was a rough journey. Of course, no one is born to learn. Okay, it was really difficult for me. I struggled a lot, but I think I have managed. I'm not sure yet, because for me, in order to someone call himself profitable, he must have at least 2 years data, at least.
I like this guy. You're okay, Alex. You're an A+ in my book. All right.
Okay, thank you.
I agree with you. I mean, I think that some people like to jump the gun on assuming they're profitable. And that's, it's hard to say that you're legit profitable unless you have a good amount of profitable months and profitability. Like, unless your year is like, to me, I'm like, a lot of people think in a monthly gains. But I think when you really look at it from a yearly point of view, if you are yearly profitable for a couple of years, you can say now you're a profitable trader, in my opinion. I mean, I know some people will argue differently, but I feel like when you're talking about salaries and you're talking about like living in normal society, in most societies, you talk about a yearly like, what do you live off for the year to provide for yourself? So to me, like, you can't say you're a profitable trader because you traded 1 month profitably. Like, that could have just been luck. And, you need to have consistency there. And
from what you said so far, and just the fact that I think you have a great quality that you might not even know you have, and that's just perspective. And I wish a lot more people had that as well. It's just the fact that, okay, I was wrong. Why was I wrong? And so, like, if you're always trying to find that why in the scenario, you might lose. But it's like, okay, instead of being like, oh, this strategy sucks, be like, okay, what did I do wrong? And that'll just escalate your trading career so quickly, which I love that you've done.
For sure. You need to get to the bottom of what it is. Like, why, what are you trading? How is it apply? What is the purpose of it? Like, how does it function? Like, you can't just be like, oh, but that's what Christy does in her videos. Like, you should you should understand each indicator I show. Like, what does that indicator do? What's the purpose of her using that indicator? Jay knows this from doing strategy building with me and backtesting, but like, we're always going through it. And it's like, there's times where we're trying to troubleshoot and we'll have somebody else throw out an indicator and I'm like, no, that's dumb, because we're like, that's 2 indicators doing the same exact job. That's a waste of an indicator. Like, and it's like, that's where you have to go back to being like, it's unnecessary. Like, you have 2 indicators telling you the same exact thing. Like, you don't want that. And a lot of the times I find people in the beginning, like you're kind of saying, they kind of jump in and they just want to follow, but they don't take the time to like pause and really break down what is it doing, and then taking the time to learn why. And I know you were from an older community that we didn't actually run, and I know that was actually for us when we started TTF was a big problem that we were seeing, is that we talked about this in episode 1, that some of these communities they're just not being ran the way that they should sometimes, well, from what we felt was important, where they're lacking teaching the basics because everybody wants to run before you walk. And it's like, even the strategies we make, everybody just wants to jump in and start trading them. And they're like, well, they're beginner friendly. But they're beginner friendly if you follow the rules like we show in backtesting. But the reality of it is they're 10 times better if you understand the basics and you apply your own analysis to them. And every single time we have backtested, when we look at it, like our numbers we get with our strategies that we use, our own versions of the strategies we provide you guys, are always better. Always the win rate, it goes from like 60 to like 80s, like insane. Like, so absolutely. I love that you have taken this approach where you said, like, where can I figure out how to fix what's going wrong? You didn't just give up. You didn't just keep hopping around to find the right strategy. You dug deep, and I love that.
Yeah, because I am trading another style all this time, but when TTF launched, I really had the need to be part of it because I wanted really to help people. I needed help when in the back days. I know how it is to struggle. I know all these problems everyone has. I wanted to help. That's why I joined. I joined for help.
I appreciate it. And you do help. I see you talking all the time and like helping people. So it is.
I'm trying my best. You're
doing awesome.
You're doing awesome. Trust me. I appreciate it for real. And I know everyone else who hears from you and you give advice to appreciate it. So I love your story. I always love to hear people. You're like, I think the first, Artie kind of got into it through crypto, but not really. Like you're the first, like, lost all my money in crypto. So.
I lost
it. From now.
Every dime, I lost it.
Man, wow.
Yeah, I lost it. I lost everything.
Wow,
yeah. Unfortunately, because I thought I was God.
Yeah.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah.
A big problem. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that you found Forex and that you're trading safely now and you've learned your way.
It's a lesson.
Yeah.
We must make our mistakes advantages.
For sure. Yeah. Learn from your mistakes.
Study them and make us better.
Yeah. 100%. So as far as your background and stuff goes, I guess I kind of would like to ask you more specific, smart money concept questions now. Are you okay with that? All right.
Yeah, of course.
If you're uncomfortable at any time, you can just say.
Say the safe word. It's pineapple.
Yeah. Give the safe word. No. So I guess, I would say, Jay kind of wrote out questions here and I'm looking at them. And he wrote.
Lies.
Yeah, I'm looking at our little stay on track script, and the stay on track script never gets followed, guys. But
it's there just for fun.
These. So he writes in here, as someone who learned smart money concept, what did you struggle with the most? That's his first question. I feel like they should be reordered, Jay, but just my personal take. But that's okay. Wow. So Alex, when you were learning smart money concept, what did you feel like you struggled with the most?
I struggled with many things. The first thing and the most basic, that I didn't have knowledge. Then when I had the knowledge, the problem was psychological. The most hard part of SMC is over trading and FOMO.
I think that's with any
in general.
strategy.
That's trading in general.
Yeah, but
I struggled a lot. I couldn't see the high probability trades and try to catch them. I entered in any supply and demand mitigation. I did all the mistakes in the book. Thought that now, I'll not catch the big move. But no, it's not like that. No. Unfortunately, guys, if you think that the price will go to a supply demand zone and you're going to earn money, no, you're wrong.
Wait, why? Why?
It's
You
like
mean I
support
can't-
and resistance.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
can't
support
have
and
like a
resistance.
2 pip
If it
stop
touch-
loss
yeah.
and like get a 20% reward.
Yeah,
every
okay,
time?
yeah. I like when I see them, but they never happen, unfortunately. Look, all these strategies began through COVID, because I must say at this point that the SMC today we know is in an advanced Wyckoff method in that uses supply and demand and adds liquidity concepts in this Wyckoff methodology. Okay.
Yeah.
All these strategies began through COVID, low volatility markets, and that's why we see all the YouTube is full from 2 pip stop loss, 1 pip stop loss. Yeah, but no volatility in the market, guys. It's not like that, of course.
I'm surprised they don't get spreaded out. Like the spread has to hit them.
Yeah, yeah, okay, it can happen. I agree. I have seen with my own eyes. I have done it myself, but you lose many more times than you win. That's the biggest problem SMC for me has. Okay, trying to tighten the stop loss as much as you can. 1-2 pip stop loss and go the 10, 20, 100 RR because I saw that YouTuber did it. Okay.
So it has to be
now
real.
we have
It's
problems.
real.
Yeah, now
Yeah, it's
That's
real.
real.
problems. It's real,
Yeah.
guys.
They do it
I
every
know,
day.
Yeah,
they
I
did
know.
not. They did
yeah,
not
I
wait a
see.
week to get that perfect setup
Yeah, okay.
and record it.
Yeah, to be transparent with you, I will tell you that it can happen. You can catch those kind of trades, but a 10 RR or a 20 RR trade is not easy to make. Okay,
No.
it can happen, but it's not. You can't build consistency based on this. Okay, it's my opinion, of course. I think that all the SMC traders are going to shoot me tomorrow. It's my
Comments,
opinion.
comments are off.
It's all right. It's all right. I'll be the
No.
meat shield.
No,
Okay,
honestly, I
no.
appreciate you saying that, and I think that there are some hardcore SMC traders out there for sure.
Okay.
I think, to be fair though, you've been in one of those communities,
Yeah,
have I. I've been in one before where I don't really trade it, but I like to learn. I like to see what other people are doing. And I think that if you took a lot of them separately, not in an area where you get all they're riled up, all of them would say that they agree with you to an extent where, no, you cannot just sit there and expect a 20 reward and a super tight stop loss every single time. When you get it, that's amazing. But I think there is you can't just go from order block to order block, supply demand. Like there has to be some sort of teaching and some sort of rule or something that you apply to your strategy that you say, like, this is how I trail it, or this is how I secure profits along the way. Because the truth is, some of those pullbacks can be huge. You can get retest. Exactly. You can be maybe 10% up on your reward, and all of a sudden it comes back, and you get stopped out, and then it shoots to your, and you're like, great. These are things that really happen. And I think that we kind of touched on this, the concept part of it is great for understanding supply and demand, understanding order blocks, but the putting it as a strategy, just as a strategy where you're saying, well, I'm only going to enter here and I'm only going to take profit here, and that is it. Like, that's not that smart. You need to have some other sort of entry and exit rules that apply, and as well as your risk managing rules that apply on top of the concepts of entering in and out of these trades.
Exactly. This is the thing that the most traders don't understand. SMC stands for smart money concepts. They are concepts. They are concepts in order to build our trading idea. The entry model is something else. Okay, you see thousands of different entry models. Me personally, I used in August Happy Trail for my entries.
Yeah, and you did well.
Yeah, I think
it was a cool. It was a combination. It was matrimony.
Yeah, guys, I think that everyone thinks that when we learn something, because I saw a big MT4 that, okay, now it's for me. Yeah, I'm going to make money. No, SMC is a concept.
Right.
Remember this, guys. It is a concept, not
it
a
is not the
strategy.
strategy. It is the
Exactly.
concepts. It is still up to you to learn these
Exactly.
ideas, learn these rules, learn these basic things or concepts they're teaching, learn them, and then figure out how can you use that in your own trading? How can you personalize it? How can you apply it to whatever you're more interested in? I also think it's interesting. I would like to ask you another question about like the time frames you like to trade, because I find that sometimes with the SMC cult like people, they're very strict about, oh, we only trade like higher time frames. And when you try to say that you can use SMC on smaller time frames, it's like you get laughed at. And I have my own personal thoughts on that. But I would like to know, what is it that you trade? Like, do you have a set time frame that you work with usually, or do you have a belief in that?
Well, first of all, every day I'm a lover of multi-time frame analysis. First of all,
I wish I have
I'm
a
a
sound.
lover.
I have a soundboard, but I don't have it set up
yeah.
yet. I need like
That's
a
messed
clap.
up.
I need like the clap thing. But I love, multi-time frame analysis is huge.
It's huge. It's huge to understand every time where we are in the market. Okay, I think it's the alpha and the omega. That is Greek. Okay, because I'm from Greece. That is Greek. Okay, now to the serious things. I every day analyze the markets from the daily down to the 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, and all my entries, 80% are in the 1 minute time frame. Okay, but I don't stay all the day in the 1 minute time frame. I only go down for my entry. Okay, I stay all the day in the 15-minute time frame. I draw my supply and demand zones. I always check my higher time frames. And when I build my trading idea based on liquidity, based on imbalances, what do I expect price to do next? I have some rules. For example, you can agree with me that what do we expect after a break of structure? We expect a pullback. Okay. That's why I can't stare all the day looking at the charts. I will try to catch the pullback. I think it's easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy as we spoke. It's easy to say. It's not easy to do it. Okay?
I'm a big pullback retest guy too.
Yeah, I think when you understand market structure in general, like nothing even beyond just the basics, market structure, like learning these basic rules. It's like your eyes like, oh my God, duh, that's what's happening. And especially when you're able to look at these higher time frames and then learn how to successfully apply them as you move down without getting too lost. In the beginning, multi-time frame analysis can definitely be confusing for new traders, and I understand that. But as you learn market structure and you can identify like what's going on the higher time frame and how that's reflecting in these smaller ones as being part of the overall move, it definitely can be much easier. You just start to be like, oh, there I am in the market. It's not like a predicting thing where you're like, oh, should I buy? Should I sell? Like, you don't know. It's more like, I know where I'm at. I know where I'm going to probably be going. I know what's actually happening. Like, this is not a downtrend. It's a pullback, or you know what I mean? Like something like that. And you're like, we're actually eventually buying, but today we might be pulling back. So if I want to trade today, I'm only going to pull back to like this level or this area because I know the overall move is actually probably a buy, but not today. So it's like you start to learn, like, not today. Today's not the day I'm going with the trend, maybe, but tomorrow when I get to a certain point. Those are more experienced things you learn. But as you start to get more comfortable with your analysis, that's huge. And then you can start applying things from smart money concept. Like, am I at an order block? Am I at a supplier demand zone? Like, where am I?
And I will say first off is that Alex has started tradition in the TTF community, and the fact that if you are a frequent flyer in the Forex channel, he likes what he says is to build his own story. And so you'll see every single morning he'll actually post screenshots of his trading view analysis to kind of give you an idea of what he sees in the market. Usually it's like GU and EU, right? You like the major pairs majority of the time?
I only trade the EU.
EU, okay, yeah.
95% I trade only EU, yeah. And a little bit NAS, not so much, but I prefer EU because it's a pair I really know. I feel it. I feel
Yeah,
it. You know, sometimes you
during
have to
London
feel it.
time, you could check that out. He likes to be like, "All right, guys, it's time to build your story," and he adds like low low volumes. He's keeping track of that, which is really cool to see. So it's fun.
It's really
It's fun to
cool.
see a little culture kind of starting there.
When you were looking to find SMC content, did you feel like it was easy to find it? Like I mean, I know this is around COVID time, and I feel like it really did explode, this concept over the last couple of years. You know, like when I started, that wasn't a thing. All it was called was like institutional trading. Like, oh, I'm an institutional trader. But now,
many
you know,
many names. Many names.
It definitely has. And then the inner circle kind of came out, which I'm, fan of. If you guys, I don't know. They are already plugged themselves, Todd, but I'll plug them. I love their podcast. I really did like listening to it, although there's things that I don't personally apply. It was nice, to hear what they have to say. So I do think that they have some good concepts again that can be applied. And I think that's, they kind of really did push this smart money concept forward when it became a little more bigger for people in the last couple of years. But over the last couple of years where you've been learning it, have you found it easy to find the content online, or is it's like all paid groups for the most part?
Christy, the last 6 months, there is a lot of content on YouTube, a lot. But the problem is that every YouTuber that is making a video has a community behind.
Yeah.
So if someone goes to watch their video, unfortunately, you are never going to learn the truth. Okay.
Yeah.
You must join his community, learn all the sauce, all the hotspots from his community, pay, they're expensive.
It's only $1,000.
Yeah.
It's a small loan.
Something.
No.
Yeah.
Some are cheaper than that, but they do charge. Yeah. I have seen some pretty heavy fees for these SMC communities, which is kind of sad to me. I really do wish that somebody would make like a TTF version of just SMC, like make the Walmart special version of SMC and just let people come in and talk. So I'm glad that YouTube has been able to give you some. I know when we were creating our Smart Money course for TTF, we have like a mini course that we will be expanding to. So if you guys don't know about that, we have started that. Brutus does that because it's the closest to his style. Again, though, he takes the concepts and puts it to his strategy, just like you have been doing. So we have started that process of doing it because it is in demand. It is so popular. And there are a lot of concepts we really do like from SMC that we think are important to be applying. However, when we were researching and trying to be like, all right, let's make sure that we don't make any of these cultists upset.
Oh, I mean, it's guaranteed that's going to happen. So
100%. Yeah, we already got like a bunch of thumbs down from them. But when we were, researching, we're having a really difficult time trying to find free resources to give to you guys, because we're always trying to give you guys extra resources. And I don't care if it promotes somebody else's thing. I don't care as long as it's free. But
it's almost like they tickle you with knowledge, but it's like, but if you want to actually learn how to apply this, come here. So it's like,
come here to learn the truth.
Yeah, did you find that same situation when you were looking into this?
Yeah, exactly, Christy. I was learning things here and there. I saw a video. It didn't say the whole story. That's the problem. That's why I entered the community. Because
he got you.
He got me. It's true. He got me
but you learned. So in hindsight, it was worth it.
But not everybody's as
right.
The problem is, guys, that no one thinks the proper way. What do I mean by that? I mean that everyone wants the shortcut. Everyone. It's the biggest problem. I had the same problem. Don't take shortcuts.
Okay, so just to kind of get back into SMC, kind of the concepts of things, like in normal trading, obviously there's more important things to learn over others. And like, would you say whenever you were learning SMC, were there certain concepts that were just kind of more important to learn? Whether like there's some that it's good to know about this, but you can kind of push this aside. So for like newer people kind of getting into SMC, what should they specifically focus on, and what can they like kind of dump out for now to where they can like tunnel vision on what's really important to learn? It's kind of
Yeah. The first concept and most important for me is supply and demand. Master supply and demand. The higher the time frame, the more strong the supply or the demand zone is. The second, of course, is liquidity. It's the true reason the market moves. It moves based on supply and demand. And if you disagree with me, you can, of course,
we can fight later. No,
we can
Pitchforks
fight
inbound.
now if you want.
No,
Yeah.
that's fine.
But the
no,
true
I don't
reasons,
think we don't disagree with you.
I
There.
don't
No,
disagree at all.
supply, demand, and liquidity are huge things,
Exactly.
and 100%
Exactly.
agree with those concepts.
Now, why is liquidity so important? Because the institutions, in order to make their bigger move, because you already know that the institutions can't put big positions at once because they have some limits in their orders. That means that they have to bring market back in order to place another order bigger and make their overall move. That's why liquidity is really important, because you see where the institutions are moving and specify in that region, that section of the market. That's why liquidity is so important.
Yeah.
Identify the zones.
Agree.
No, I agree too.
And of course, price action. Okay. Price action is common in any strategy. Also in SMC. All the concepts are combined together in order to continue and be as much as right you can be, because we must never forget that we are playing a probability game.
Yeah.
We're trying to bring the probabilities towards us.
So I'll actually build on that. A lot of people I find, especially when they learn something new, so like SMC, for example, whenever they start learning SMC, they only stick to that and they forget the good things that they learn from other strategies or concepts of that. So what I'm wondering, and you've kind of already shown this actually in Strategy Wars when you did a Happy Trail, is like, do you feel that there really is a good balance? And could that does that like escalate SMC like to its next potential when you add in certain like indicator strategies alongside it, like use the concept of that and then use an indicator strategy kind of idea to just confirm, to reevaluate that is the entry that you want to go with? Like,
okay. I will try to explain you my whole thought process. First of all, okay, I'm a supply and demand trader. I'm an SMC trader, yes, but I'm also a father. I'm also a businessman that don't have all the time in front of me or stare in front of the charts to see if now this candle was bigger than the other one in order to go into the markets. Okay, here comes indicators. I told you in the beginning of our conversation that SMC is a concept. It is the way we build our trading idea. The entry model is something else. We can implement indicators in order to make, in our style, the SMC style, but make us more easier to press the trigger. An indicator makes our life easier. Why? Maybe I won't make a 6 RR trade or a 7 RR trade. I will make a 3 RR trade or a 4 RR. I will win. And that is consistency.
Yeah.
Not anything else. To pushing the trigger the same time. We are creating our edge.
I agree.
Okay. Now, how can we do that? My personal strategy through Strategy Wars was, I waited price to come to one of my supply or demand zones. Okay. I waited market to shift. And then, because Happy Trail is an indicator that shows us price action. What do I mean by that? I mean that it shows us when market expands. It also shows us when market pulls back. I waited for that pullback and entered when Happy Trail gave me the sign that we're going to expand again and do our overall move. So simple. I didn't do anything.
I mean, what you were doing worked. And so for people, you didn't have to trade all 23 days in August. And obviously Alex didn't because he does own a business. He has a family. But I'm pretty sure it was around 15 profitable days you had. I'm almost positive it was around that area. And like I said, he wasn't trading every single day. So I mean 15 profit trading days in a month is really, really good. And so what you were doing was working very well, and we're really happy to see that.
Thank you guys. Thank you. I tried my best. I could have traded more days, but I couldn't because I had to go to vacations with my family. My internet connection wasn't really good over there. So I tried my best, but I want to point something. Either we are trading SMC, either we are trading support and resistance, or Happy Trail, or Outback, or anything. Make it yours. I think it's really important to make each strategy ours.
100% agree with that. I say it all the time. Everybody wants to copy what someone else is doing that's profitable, and I understand that to an extent. But what I see and what you see are never going to be the same. And you can't expect that. Like, you have to take what somebody's doing, use it as a way to look at the market, be like, what are they seeing? I saw so many traders who traded so differently than I trade. And it took me a very long time hopping around to realize what I saw and understood best. And for me, in order to understand the multi-time frame analysis, because I know, like anybody else, when I started multi-time frame analysis, just confused the shit out of me. I was like, I don't know where I am, what I'm doing. I don't even know, And of
drawing
course,
too many levels at times, to where it's like you can't find a trade because, like, oh well, it's in this level. Can't trade because it's in this level.
I obviously had to trade on the 1 minute because that's like, what YouTube, and everybody told you to trade. So, and I'm over here like trying to be like, well, on the daily, like, and I'm like not realizing that the 1 minute doesn't give a crap about what the daily's doing right now, probably.
No.
True.
Until I learned that concept, like I was struggling. And then I just remember watching somebody talk about at the time, because all these fancy, I'm talking about 2015, we had very basic vocabulary back then. We had support and resistance, but somebody was talking about support and resistance, and they were showing breakout trading, momentum trading, I think they refer to it as, and I call it breakout trading. But I remember that just making so much sense. And then because I understood like a breakout, pullback, retest, all these things, like I was like, oh, like I get that. And I'm not the biggest person on retest because it doesn't always retest. And sometimes you lose the move you actually wanted. But I understood that, okay, like if I'm going to enter this, I need to know where the stop loss has to be in the event of a retest. And is it still worth it? Like these were all things that I was like, oh, like the light bulbs for me personally just started going off. And that's how I started really getting good, when I understood my personal style. And I think that it was just like this one person who just explained the very basic idea of support and resistance, very simple, showing this breakout. And I was like, oh, and it was literally like a year and a half or something of like every day watching these crazy videos, writing notes. I had post-its everywhere, like no lie. There were post-its everywhere with like videos or people's names and like different strategies and rules. And I just felt like people were just like, it was so complicated. And then watching somebody take such a simple thing and just was like, oh, it can be that simple for me. And that's what resonated. But I've met people who like literally I show them what I do and they are like, they have that look I had with so many people. And
the aha moment.
Well, they don't know. I haven't seen that. I've had people who are like, oh, this girl's crazy. She is on some sort of something. No, I mean, I've had people who are literally so confused when I teach and what I do. And then, but somebody might show moving averages and they're like, oh my God, like that makes sense. And, in reality, if you line up your moving averages and your support and resistance or your order blocks or your multi-time frames, they all start to overlap at some point. It's what is it for you, like for your version that you see.
Yeah.
So although we don't push strategy hopping in that way, I absolutely push understanding other concepts. So, I have said, I'm not a smart money concept trader. I do not ever mark up an order block. You will never see a chart of mine with an order block name on it. But that doesn't mean I don't understand.
I do it sometimes. I don't put order block on my chart.
That's what I'm saying. You're never going to see order block. You're never going to see me write supply and demand on a chart. Okay. Will I tell you that's a supply and demand? Because I understand, like, oh, this is maybe I'll say like, this is my support, but it's also an order block, or it's also a supply zone or a demand. You know what I mean? Like, I would identify that because I've learned those concepts. So my rant that I'm going on here is that even though you might identify with one thing more than another, you still should always learn from it. Like I said, I was in an SMC community and I had no business being in there. I had no business being in there because I didn't trade that, but I wanted to know what they were doing. I think that you never get so good that you can't expand your knowledge and take concepts or pieces from what somebody else is doing and figuring out, like, how can I make my own trading better with that? Or if it doesn't resonate at all, just trash it. But, knowledge is knowledge, and like, that's what's the worst that happens. You learn something that works for somebody else. I just think that that's, for me, I really do like a lot of things in SMC, and like exactly what you're teaching, or not teaching, what you've been saying and what you're, been helping and teaching in the community is like, it's not just one thing that they teach in SMC. Exactly. There's multiple things that you need to take into consideration.
Exactly, Christy.
Yeah.
I want to mention here, the only thing I had with support and resistance was that if I put 100 people to mark support and resistant lines, the 60 will put at a different place.
Yeah.
At a different price. But in supply and demand, if we put 100 people to do it, they will do the same exact way. That's the only reason I believe I have met many people that make really good money with support and resistance. If it works for them and they make money, I'm okay with that, no problem. Because it doesn't work with me, it doesn't mean that it doesn't work at all.
No, I agree. I think if I was learning now, that I would have been, I don't know if I'd be a cultist, but I think I would have absolutely been more into SMC if I was just learning now. Because as I go back, like I said, when I was learning like what they do, what they're teaching, and I'm looking at my own markups and I'm looking at how I do things, I was like, oh, I'm unbeknown to me marking up supply and demand zones. Yeah. My support and resistance are those zones. Jay and I have talked about this. Actually, we did a live for the community and Jay was showing like how he likes to do it. And it's exactly how I like to mark up my support and resistance. And what it basically is like where, or order blocks and things like that. Like, we like to do it where like support and resistance meet each other. Yeah. So you're not just throwing it in because there's like a bunch of candles there. It's like where support and resistance meet. And like, where has it been support at one point when then it was resistance at another point and then comes back again?
That to me is like the strongest of levels, because you can have like a triple top or triple bottom, which are also very strong resistance and support
and
levels.
And a lot of times when you look at these things that we're marking up, if you bump up a higher time frame, you're like, oh, that's a, that's a supply or demand zone or something. And you don't realize it.
Triple tops are liquidity.
Exactly. So then when I learned more about liquidity through like hearing about it, I was like, oh, like these candle patterns. Yeah.
I set you up.
But it's just the idea, like, I think that there is a lot of things that are taught because you guys are in a different time where you're learning trading than when I was learning it. Had these fancier words and this concept been around when I was learning, it actually overlaps with so many things that you really do learn. Just have different names now that they spin to it, and they kind of go more in depth about explaining it. But I think actually, although I don't trade smart money concept in that way, there are some really, really great things that they teach. And liquidity is one of my favorite things that comes out of smart money. That's huge. And so many people don't understand liquidity, and they get frustrated when their orders go wrong and things, and you're like, that was an obvious liquidity grab. So when you understand those things, that helps. And I really do like supply and demand. Those are probably my two favorite things.
Me too.
That come out of smart money concept.
Exactly. I think if you master these two concepts on SMC in combination with market structure, you don't need anything else. It's my opinion.
I will sort of agree with that. No. I do agree. I think that you can be, if you're good and you understand the other basics, like you can put together, some basics of like market structure and price action, and kind of understand them but using those concepts. Yeah, absolutely. You don't need any indicators. You don't really need anything else. If you want them to help you absolutely could use them, but you don't need them.
I agree with Christy, and the same fact is you probably don't realize that you're actually subconsciously doing more than what you think you are on the surface. Where you're saying that you might only be looking at two things, but like you can clearly spot out trends and structure and breaks, and you might not be like saying that I'm looking for that, but subconsciously you just know that this is a good time to potentially enter the market, this is a bad time to potentially enter the market. So
I think it's always amazing, like, when you send a markup in the community, and you'll think like, well, here's what I saw, right?
Yeah, it's just simple.
And somebody else will be like, oh, but there's a double top, right? Somebody's like, there's a divergence. Then somebody else will tell you that's a supply zone. And it's
Did you see Mercury's retrograde there?
Well, that'll be Jay soon. But that's like, you'll see all these other views. Somebody will say, oh, that was a break of a trend line. And I think it's awesome when you can see all these different styles. But again, it comes back to that's your preference of how is it that you're taking these concepts and then you're putting your own spin on them. And I think it's, I love when people do that. And I'm always like, there was like, I gave you like 4 confluences, but you just gave us like 20 reasons. So sometimes I'm like, man, if you just trade it as a community,
we stonks.
Yeah.
We'll be millionaires.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Okay, so I think that, I don't know, is there anything else you want to talk about specifically, Jay?
So I like to, I feel like you've answered this a lot, but just to kind of recap and give a final summary, I like to ask people to answer this question. The fact that young Alex, not knowing anything about trading, interested in hearing he's listening to our podcast right now in another dimension. And so
little Alex.
Yeah, little Alex, little Al, what would you tell little Al? He's sucking his thumb at this point watching this, but he's somehow smart enough to understand exactly what we're saying right now. But what would you tell him if he's interested potentially in smart money concept, but he doesn't want to get fooled by, I don't want to use the guru term, but the people that are looking to kind of sell the product rather than themselves? Like, what would you tell them to specifically work on? What path would you tell them to go for, and like things of that nature?
I will tell them to do the exact opposite what I did.
But they don't know. They don't know though. They're in another dimension.
I went from the sauce with no base. Learn the basics. Master structure. Master price action, understand what price action is, what is a pullback, what is all this, and then try to educate even more in these concepts, because you're going to get lost. If you see a word in a YouTube video, for example, inducement, and you will say, what is an inducement? I can't tell you the theory, but if you don't understand market structure, you will never understand truly what an inducement is, for example.
Yeah.
You need the basics. Learn the basics. Don't go through shortcuts. For
Yeah.
me, I did these mistakes multiple times. Oh, I thought I found the next and the next and the next and the next. No.
Chasing,
If
yeah.
if you don't learn the basics, everything else is useless.
We're
So
talking to you guys.
Yeah, it
Talking to
sounds
y'all.
like to me what happened is you needed to know the basics, and smart money concept kind of became your savior for that, where it
Yeah,
not only taught you
exactly.
the concepts, but it also forced you to learn the basics to be able to apply it correctly. And
Exactly.
for that, I do like smart money concepts. I do like liquidity. I like supply and demand, and I do like that. I don't personally trade it, you guys. And my only comment on why I don't do it and why I haven't actually like pushed it more is because although I love the idea of knowing how institutions trade, I think that's so important. They make up majority of the market. That's who's moving it. So you should know how that market moves. Like I would want to know it. Like, wouldn't you want to know? Like, you're like, hey, like if I know how they trade, then I can be the little fish behind the big fish
Just
and
latch
just
on.
get my money, and I let them move it, and then I just kind of like follow along. So I definitely agree with the idea of knowing how they trade and understanding why an institution does it. But I also, as I've like said this before to other people, I'm well aware of my role in the market as a retail trader. I am not an institution. I do not own bank money. I do not trade with bank money. My job is to come in as a retail trader and create those little liquidity areas that the bank is like, hey, gonna steal your money so I can go the way I want to go. So like I'm well aware that retail traders are needed to create liquidity. And if all of us trade smart money concept, then there's nothing for the banks
Nobody's gonna make money.
to do. Yeah. So I agree with it. And I love that you kind of like talked about this earlier on where you're like, I don't go straight, like I don't only do supply and demand and just only go for that, because that's, you already know that's what the banks want to do. You're trying to talk about, you mix it up a little bit where you just take your 3-hour trade if you have to, get your money and get out. So you're a little fish behind the big fish, and you're like, listen, I know where they're going. I know what they're going to do because I understand the concept. But my goal isn't to hold that trade till the bank gets there. My goal is to get my money and get out and move on with my life because I'm busy. So when trading it in the way that you're doing it, I love the idea of it. And I think it's super important. And which is why, we've even given the mini course, the very basic version of smart money concept in TTF, like, because we wanted people to kind of start getting the idea of this, like understanding the basics. And like you said, sometimes I think needing to see, like, understand what do the bigger institutions do, breaking it down, like how does this market even actually work at the core of it, like who's running it, who's moving it. You need to know those things. And sometimes I think if you haven't learned them yet, I think smart money concept really does help to explain a lot of complicated ideas, but puts it all together for you. I think that does a nice job at delivering that. To make it a little bit easier to understand. And I think then for a retail trader to come in and say, okay, I know what the banks are doing. I understand why the market's doing what it's doing. I understand all these areas now. It kind of really does help you come in and then put that personal spin on it. So that's how I like smart money concept. The cultists will disagree, but that's my version of it. And I know in TTF, that's kind of been our spin on it, that we wanted to show how certain people have been taking these concepts again and using them, not necessarily trading it as a strategy, but trading it as a concept and looking at it as like identifying areas. So it's a very basic version that we do supply you guys with. There are other resources out there. Sounds like YouTube's getting a little bit better, but be careful when searching for smart money concept stuff. We'll keep looking around too. Maybe we can add some links or stuff. Maybe we'll find something, but I guarantee you guys, like, the information is somewhere out there on the internet for free. You don't always have to pay. You might have to do some searching. but or if you can find maybe a course that's relatively on the cheaper side, just to see if you guys can, pick up, the information all in one area, that would be nice as well. But it would be nice to get maybe somebody who just would do it cheaper, just really cheap or free, but we'll see.
Or free.
Free.
No, but I really like asking that question to everybody, because The listeners now at this point understand me and Christy literally hammering the fact that you need to learn the basics of price action. No matter what concept, no matter what strategy you use, price action is king, and it's your foundation as a trader. And it's just funny. It's funny how you and everybody else say you have to learn. At the end of the day, you have to learn the basics. And so it's like, yes, we sound like a broken record, but if everybody keeps saying this, it has to hold some weight. And I think it's just the fact that people might be too scared to kind of take that leap of faith in going into something that they don't really necessarily understand, and which is okay. That's in order to, you need to take leaps to make progress, but it's very important, guys, to learn this, and you will struggle. Like it's bound to happen, but price action is very important, as Alex said, as I say, and as Chrissy said, as a foundation for everything.
Yeah. I think I don't know, is there anything else you would like to talk about when it comes to smart money concept, Alex? Like
some final,
anything you want to tell to your people?
It's your floor. It's your floor. all your fans who read your stories.
Do you think you'll I guess I kind of will lead you into some of this. Like, do you think that you'll continue using smart money? Like, do you anticipate that you will always use some version of smart money concept in your trading?
If the markets ever adapt, because like you said, you've learned this during COVID. Like, is there something in the back of your mind, like, okay, like what if the markets would like move in different directions? Like, would you still think it's viable?
Do you still feel like you could adapt it? Like, yeah, me and Jay are just going to keep going. And like, how do you think you could use this? Like, do you think you could even use this if things change? Like, do you find that you would be comfortable enough at this point to work with it and I guess adapt it?
I will answer you with a small story. SMC in the older days was only that the smart money is buying in a discount area and the dumb money is buying in a premium. Now SMC is an evolution of Wyckoff methodology. Okay, that means that we have a lot of room of adjustments. Sorry, we have a lot of room to adjust our strategy, our edge, in order to fit in the conditions. I mentioned before that through COVID, volatility was low. Now volatility is bigger. That means that we must adjust our RR, our stop losses, be more safe, not so aggressive. We have to adjust. Others like to use indicators as me. I will do it. In order to stay consistent, I will do it. I will run my tests. I will take my time. I will backtest, and I will see my results.
That was the answer we were looking for. No. A+. Yeah. No, that is kind of what I figured that's what anybody who does, I've been trading now for a while and I have seen all kinds of markets. I've seen inflation, I've seen deflation, I've seen COVID, pandemics, I've seen everything. And, obviously my strategy has had to evolve. It doesn't stay. I haven't been trading the same exact strategy since 2015.
Yeah.
Otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be working at a real job still. So I wouldn't, you can't do that. You have to be willing to evolve. And I appreciate that you are kind of sticking to the yes, there's the concepts, but I will apply what I need to. I think that's good. I know that there are some hardcore SMC people who feel that it would hold through anything. And I was curious to just see what your thinking here is. I do agree that I think some of the zones will hold, your supply, there's some concepts again that will hold no matter what.
Exactly.
The strategy that some of them do, I don't know if it would hold through for everything, but again, it's interesting to see, I'm interested to see where it goes in the future, how this develops.
Yeah, me too.
I am very interested. I think so many people being interested in it also brings some really good traders to be interested in it and start working, which is really fun to see people really some of the people who do present it and what they've done with this. So that's always cool to see. But yeah, I'm definitely, I love that. Yeah.
And so with that, oh, well, you want to say something then?
No. Okay, I'm okay.
No, go ahead, finish up. This is your moment. This is it.
This is your moment, man. Don't let us hold you back.
Self-development is one feature we all must have. That's why Christy is so successful. Yeah. Self-development. Never stop. Exactly. Never stop learning. Never stop applying what you learn. Apply all these concepts to make them yours. And anytime you need to adjust the things, you will do it. Easy. Because you have the basic idea.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better myself.
I mean,
yeah. Jay's pointing at you guys in audio land who are just listening. But I mean, I think that's honestly the best advice. I think people think sometimes that it's just very easy for me. And I wish they could see what an everyday day in the life looks like, because it's not. I'm always busy. Jay's my witness because Jay does work with me, under me, helps me throughout.
She's crazy.
He doesn't like to be called my assistant, but that's what he is. He's my assistant.
All right, I guess I'll catch y'all later. Okay.
No. Jay's honestly a huge help, and he's been kind of working with me through the last almost 2 years now. And I mean, he sees what a day looks like for me, and it's not
y'all don't want that. No,
I don't just sit around and just let me just take one trade and I'm done for the day. I mean, I have a great life. I do not complain, but I am a busy person and I keep busy all the time. He knows I'm always overdoing it as far as busy because I'm constantly doing something. I'm constantly wanting to build, be better. I'm always on the go, in that way. And I think that if you have that kind of personality and that kind of approach with trading or with any type of investment thing that you might decide to do, that is where you're going to succeed. You can't just stay stagnant and expect things to grow. It doesn't work like that. You can't get that 1% better every day if you're not challenging yourself, you're not growing, you're not adapting. If I wasn't adapting with the market since 2015, I don't even know where I'd be after COVID. Could you imagine? It wouldn't have worked. So you have to be open-minded to a little bit of adaptation and put in the work. Definitely the testing. Nobody wants to hear that. They got to be testing it.
I mean, what would a Christy and Jay podcast be without deviating off topic and finishing off with psychology and mentality? At this point, it's tradition at this point.
Is that what you're about to do?
But no, guys, this is going to conclude today's episode 2 of Smart Money Concept. Alex, again, thank you very much for coming on to give your side of things, because we don't trade Smart Money Concept, but we do want to give the people a really good and informational view of somebody that does in your case. And so, like I said, really thankful for you coming on.
Thank you also, guys. I will say one more time, I'm honored.
We're honored. We really are.
We're honored.
I'm honored.
Yeah, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for y'all. If you guys are ever looking for like we said, Smart Money Concept chat room or Forex room, he is in. So if you guys are looking to chat with him, please don't blow up his DMs though, because he is a real trader too, and he's busy. He owns a restaurant. You want to plug your restaurant, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Fast food.
I don't really.
Fast food. I own the fast food. Yeah. With my cousin. I'm a father. I have 2 beautiful twin daughters.
And you dominate the markets.
My angels. Yeah, I try my best. For their future.
Keep with it. You will get there. You have a good head on your shoulders for sure. And you have a good outlook and mentality on how you want to achieve these goals. And your success has already been good in 2 years. You've come such a long way. Way further than I was in 2 years. My 2 years and I was.
And you have an awesome accent. So what can't you do?
Yeah.
But guys, But guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. For those listening on podcasting apps, please feel free to add us into your list. That way you don't miss out on our weekly episodes. Next one will air on what should have been Monday, but we decided to do obviously a Friday launch. But next episode will be episode 3, I'm sorry, on prop firms. And we have a special guest for that as well on Monday, October the 10th. So look out for that. And on YouTube, obviously, you know the deal by now. Smash that like button. Comment what you liked about it. Well, actually, no, comments are off. So,
Comments are off.
Got you. Smash that subscribe button. If you want to talk to us, you're gonna have to join our community. We're plugging it in now, but guys, it's really good for you because you have people like Alex right here, man, just really looking out for everybody. Obviously, me and Christy too, and everybody's. It's a real community vibe. It doesn't really feel like a trading group. It feels more of like a trading community. So if that's something that you're interested in, because trading can be lonely, please feel free to drop down the description below and check out the website, see if you like it or not. And yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for sharing your smart money experience with us. And
you're welcome.
I'm excited to watch you grow with it. I'm super excited to see where this goes. So
we will be here.
We'll be right here. So guys, stay safe, happy trading, and peace out. Yo, fist bump.
Bye guys.
Fist bump.
Are you up? I don't know where I am.
Got this.
Bye guys.
Peace.
Bye guys. Bye.
We're probably only gonna do for an hour and a half, but like we've been doing this for like the past 3.5 hours. And it's like after you're done, it's like fuck. I don't smoke, but I'm like fuck. I might. I don't even want to wait until like smoking the cigarette. I'll eat the fucking cigarettes at this point. I was like, I'll just fucking eat them bitches.
I love my kids. I love them.
Oh, how old are your kids?
6.5.
They're twins?
Oh.
Yeah, twin daughters.
Oh my god.
You were gonna be spending some money in like 10 years.
Yeah, that's why I want to earn money from trading. By my heart, guys, by my heart. I admire you too. And I was really honored. I mean this.
That's so sweet.
I wasn't scared. I will only tell my opinion. I was honored. Trust me. I was honored.
Well, we're honored that you guys will come on and do it.